Hey Figs, my name is Jessie Reed and I currently live in Bozeman, Montana. I feel like becoming a nurse and also working as a CNA right now is my greatest passion because I'm able to be there for people in their hardest days and also be that person for them when they're super vulnerable, which I feel like is a huge honor. I'm from Bozeman, Montana, and I work in assisted living as a CNA and caregiver. I also go to MSU and work semesterly as a doctor's assistant. My day-to-day at work is going in and providing snacks for everybody, and then I check in with all my suite residents, prepare them dinner, I cook and clean everything, I give them all their cares, and at the end of the night, put them all to bed and go back home. My upbringing has been really circled around my parents and my brother always giving back to our community, and watching how much my parents not only took care of me and loved me so much, but were also the most forgiving people, taught me that, being in healthcare and just everyday life, to give the most love I have to every single person. One of my favorite quotes is, "There's not enough love in this world, and even if there's too much, it's not enough." And I feel like giving everybody the same amount of love and giving them what they need in their hardest times and even in their greatest times is something that my parents have really taught me and what has really inspired me to give back to other people. I chose a career in healthcare because I have a huge passion for all different kinds of people and abilities. Growing up, I've worked with the elderly, kids, people in different healthcare living situations, as well as people with disabilities, and so I thought working in healthcare would be the best way to reach every kind of person and make a bigger impact on the world rather than just myself. In my own words, I feel like being a caregiver and nurse is being that person for people when they're in their lowest of times. At my work, especially right now in the COVID pandemic, I'm my residents' only support in person that they get to see every day, and I feel like that's a huge honor to be the person that they spend their last days with, and being a nurse would allow me to be able to reach so many different people and be there for them when they're in their hardest times and also get to see them in their greatest triumphs. I have a lot of goals. I've always dreamt of going on medical missions, going with Nurses Without Borders, and being a travel nurse so that way I can reach as many people and learn about as many different cultures as I can while providing the best health care for every kind of person. I hope in 5 to 10 or 15 years I'll be working as a nurse and making an impact on my patients by being that person that's really made a difference while they're trying to recover. I would say one of my biggest inspirations was one of my students when I taught dance classes for people with special needs. She would come into class and have a couple seizures every class, but every time she stood back up and said, "Let's keep going," and would cheer on all of her classmates as well. And that's really inspired me not only to be a huge support for people that are struggling, but also to realize that even in my toughest times, I should keep going and keep working harder. Right now, I'm really feeling the Disco Fever playlist on Spotify. It has a huge array of disco music, and it really gets me going. A really valuable piece of advice that I've received in my life came from somebody that was a really great role model to me. And he had worked in caregiving, and he gave me this advice when I was going to CNA school. And he told me when working with patients to be extremely calm and patient with them so that they don't feel like you're just rushing through the motions to take care of them. You're really in there for their journey and there to help them out through every piece of their recovery. This scholarship would mean the absolute world to me because going to college has been a huge stretch just because I knew it'd be a huge financial strain on my family, but they've always supported me and really want me to go out there and do my passion, which is become a nurse, but it's really hard to afford, so I have every year of college worked 4 jobs. I've worked as a doctor's assistant, a nanny, I take on odd jobs, I worked as a pizza maker too, and I also am a CNA. So it would mean the world to me and take a huge lift off my shoulders and my family's if we were able to have some money to put towards college that wasn't just taking out loans. The difference between going to work as a job and going to work as a passion for me is every day I wish I had more shifts at work because I love going and just making a relationship with my residents, and I know that I would love that feeling as well going to work as a nurse. And I feel like going to work, if you don't have a passion for it, is you're not necessarily going out of your way to make those connections with the people. And I genuinely feel like all of my residents have become like my grandparents and family to me. I'm super invested in their lives as well as they are in mine.